have you come here?
I like to hear them scream.
What you think causes pain is only a shadow. Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you, gentlemen.
Why are you down here?
My daddy put me down here.
Your daddy doesn't treat you right. Open this door. There'll be lots of light. Go on, open it.
What's happening to Renee is real. I've seen it for myself. I came today because last night I had a dream about this place. I was in this house, but it was late at night.
It's not as if she were a maniac, a raving thing. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back. This is episode 14 in my continuing series of video scenario guides. As always, I do appreciate you looking in, and I hope you enjoy this one as well. Today's episode, we're going to be dealing with Maw of Madness. And I suppose the first suggestion I can make concerning this particular scenario is forget Maw of Madness. I hate this SC. You know, all these videos I've been doing, most of the time I've been saying, you know, I like this one, I like that one, but you know, this is one of those I could just do without. If I'm solo queuing, I typically delete it from the rotation, spend my time in more greener pastures. Yeah, even Cain's Embrace. But since I did that wonderful introduction for the video, I guess I should, you know, persevere. Talk about it for a little bit, because if you're going to play the SC, which it still often happens, you know, you get into a pre-made and it comes up, then you got to go fight where you got to go fight. So we'll spend some time looking at video and talking about a few of the intricacies of Maw of Madness, some of the mechanics, and perhaps how to best utilize and take advantage of those. But first, I think we'll look at the point structure and how points are awarded here. Now, there are two means to score in Maw of Madness. One of them tied to accumulation of points over the course of the SC, but the first is just points per kill. You get 5 points per kill throughout the scenario. The second means to accumulate points is for holding the orbs, and the orbs here function just like the Morkan artifact in Morkan Temple. It will give you points and a damage boost for holding them, but of course it also inflicts damage, which over time will just simply kill you. If you pick it up at the beginning of the scenario, just like in Morkan Temple, you're not going to be able to hold it throughout the SC before you go down, and somebody else has to pick it up. But again, you can employ that same tactic. If you pick it up late in the SC, then you can probably hold it long enough to run out the clock. However, I'm going to leave this chart here up for a little bit. This shows the damage on the left side, and then the points that your team gets every time damage is inflicted. As you saw, damage is inflicted every 5 seconds, and eventually it gets up to 8,900 damage on a tick, and then you're just dead. But if you can have a healer sort of keep you on your feet for a while, you can build up some points for your side for holding, and they're multiplied by 3, I should say. If you have all 3 orbs, then those points you're accumulating are multiplied by 3, which is a benefit, which is a plus for hanging on to them. Now this, on the charts here, just going over the capture mechanic, and it's just like capturing a flag in any other scenario. dot damage will interrupt it, but your defenses will work. And the more people you have standing around you, the faster you can pick something up. Alright, here's the map. As you can see, order starts on the right. Destruction starts on the left. The 3 skulls there represent where the talismans are located. And you're fighting in this dust bowl here, surrounded by all these jagged teeth-like things coming up out of the ground. And you can get punted on top of those. It's happened to me a couple times where you get punted and you land right on top of one of those, and that's kind of fun. But anyway. Alright, we're going to take a look at our first video segment here. And this SC, we were pugging this. But it just so happened that a couple guys from the guild showed up. So I left this part in just to show that when the scenario begins, the orbs are not immediately available. You have to wait. It's not long, but it's a little bit of time before they spawn and then are available for capture. So the only thing to really do is just get out there in the middle of the dust bowl and gauge your enemy. See what your enemy's going to do. They're going to charge straight for you, or and go ahead and initiate combat. Now I was guarding Goth here, so of course the witch elf had to die. It's been a while since I've said that, but there's the 5 points for our first kill. So that now again, all that information on the scoring mechanics I did find on the forums, and so I just wanted to show that apparently it's all still accurate. No one has yet to capture any of the orbs, and that tends to be oh look, that Magus is running away. Imagine that. But as I was saying, that tends to be the norm in Maw of Madness, which is one of the reasons that I don't like playing the SC. Is it takes a while for anyone to decide to pick one of these things up. And Atomic Knight does it here. And Atomic Knight, again, I've made this comment before. He's a good player. He's and so it didn't surprise me in the least that he picked one of them up. But the prevailing attitude seems to be that in Maw of Madness, everybody wants to win, but nobody wants to die. And that's the that's the nullifier. I suppose that's a good word. That's the nullifier in the motivation to pick up one of the orbs, is because even though you score, you're going to get killed, and so you just, I suppose if you're going to play this scenario, you just have to overcome it. Now, I did a fade edit to skip some time. This is the same scenario. We have all 3 orbs at the moment, and you can watch and see how fast our points are going to add up here, because the points that we're getting for holding the orbs is at this moment multiplied by 3. And so we're sort of rapidly building up points here. So the Warpstone Talisman guy, it was dropped, and what that really means is the guy holding it died. Goth picked it up again. I did another fade edit toward the end of the scenario, because not much changed over the course of it, except at this moment one of the destruction players that chosen there is holding one of the orbs. But you can see by the score that in this particular case it was too little too late. And there it is. We get the 500 point win. So, I didn't dwell on this. I do have another scenario video to put up in a moment. But I didn't dwell on it because, as far as tactics go, Maw of Madness is again, it's just sort of one side charging at the other, and the other side charging at the first side, and then you meet in the middle and smash it out, and then try to decide, okay, are we going to pick up the orbs or not? Because you can win this scenario just by running up kill totals. You can if you want to string it out for 15 minutes and play it that way. Capturing the orbs speeds all that up. But it's just, many times as you go into it, I've just always found that it's always hard to get the first person to pick up one of the things, because it's not like Morkan Tipple where there's only one, and you're going to pick it up and you're going to you're going to die eventually, but it really helps advance your cause to winning. Here you got 3 people that can pick it up, and you get all 3 of them, and all 3 of them die. I mean, it's just a detriment, I think, to the mindset of making that sacrifice play and going ahead and picking one of them up. And as I said, that's one of the reasons I tend to avoid the SC. The map layout is another. However, we're going to look at another piece of video here, but first, I had a request come in. I have a couple friends who wanted to appear in this video, so I included them right here.
Hello, we're the Jacob sisters. Will you be our friend?
Okay, I don't really know those two. I found that video on YouTube and thought it would be appropriate to stick in here. It kind of fit the mood. Okay, this is only the second, but it will be actually the final bit of a Maw of Madness video I'm going to include. And this was a pre-made run, Zaxxon and the usual suspects. And I chose it one for this reason, because as you can see, 30 seconds into the scenario, that's when the orbs do appear and are, of course, then available for capture. But at the moment, we are still engaged in the opening round, sort of feeling out the enemy and seeing what we're up against. And it's obvious. I mean, look at the screen. This was a very tank-heavy destruction force, and any such force is going to take a while to sort of burn through. Pardon the pun, but we're fighting over now this crevasse here. I don't know what you call this little slit in the ground, but most of the fighting also tends to center on that location. And I guess if I had to, put in one suggestion, one tactical suggestion, I've always found it a bit advantageous to move the fight off of that spot. You get hung up there a lot. You have to do a lot of jumping around, and I would just suggest, there are walls. You can see them. You got surround the place, and sometimes it's better to fight over toward one of those, because like in Gates of Ekron, if you're near one of these walls and you get punted, you'll bounce off of that and won't go very far. And that's just a little suggestion. The note I put up, that if you're carrying an orb and the orb kills you, your opponent does not receive victory points. Now, at the moment we have all three orbs, and this was another reason that I chose this particular video, not because we won, but because it's just an example of having all three orbs, and then you can watch the scoring mechanic. Our points here now, we're getting at least, if I remember right, it's 17 points per orb every 5 seconds. So you have 17 points multiplied by 3, and that's going to cause our point totals to advance rather quickly. We burned through 100 points there in about 15 seconds. So the scenario at this moment is a foregone conclusion, even though one of our guys just got killed. We're going to win. Destruction, to their credit, they come out and engage us again, and with the time remaining, see, we're just over 3 minutes into the scenario, and we already have 410 points. There, it just went to 436. So if you can capture all three orbs, the takeaway here is that unlike Kane's Embrace, which is typically a 15-minute affair, or Battle for Prague, which can also tend to be the full 15-minute affair, you can win this one rather quickly. And I suppose I've been ragging on this SC all the video long, so I guess I should make one positive comment about it, and that's it. I mean, if you can get out there and capture the orbs, you can wrap this one up pretty quickly. We did that in 4.5 minutes. So that's one thing it has going for it, is that you can win it and then move on to the next SC, fairly quickly. All right, that will bring us to the review period. Now, going back to the beginning of the scenario, I made the comment that when it comes to Maw of Madness, skip Maw of Madness. and I hope I haven't beat that to death, but I guess it's just not my favorite SC, but still, if you have to play it, there are certain ways to do that, and the opening move, the only opening move that makes any sense, is just get out there and engage the enemy. Get out there and try to determine, one, their strength, two, their intent, you know, how they're going to try to play the SC, and then it's just sort of a scrum for the middle, and you want to try to control that, of course. Get control, establish dominance of the middle of the Dust Bowl battlefield, and then the orbs come into play. Then you can you know, capture those, and you sort of have to get over that. I understand it because I have fallen victim to it myself. That mindset of I don't want to pick the orb up because I don't want it to kill me. But if you're going to play this SC, you've got to set that aside and make the sacrifice play, because the orb capture points triumph over the kill totals. Now, as I said earlier, you could play the whole 15 minutes out if you wanted to and win by nothing but you know, being ahead on kills. But I don't know why you'd want to waste that amount of time when by capturing the orbs you can win rather quickly in this SC. You got to look for your opportunities to do one of two things: either pick the orb up yourself or stop your opponent from doing that. You know, to capture or deny, depending on the situation at that moment. And if you can get, you know, even at least two of the orbs, if you can get two of them, you know, you can shorten the SC by quite a bit amount of time. I suppose it can be fun, and that's the overriding philosophy when it comes to Maw of Madness, is just get out there and take one for the team, and hopefully you'll come away with you know, what we all want, is that 500-point victory. Okay, guys, I have to admit, I have had a little bit of fun putting this particular video together, so I hope I get some comments somewhere, either on the YouTube page or on the forums. You know, I'd always appreciate a comment here or there. But this does bring us to the end of episode 14, and episode 15 we'll take a look at Doomfist Crater. As always, I appreciate you watching. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
JD, you are not even listening to me!
Nag, 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 nag!
That knife is filthy!
What do you think I'm gonna do with it? Take out her tonsils?